Procrastination is the subtle killer of dreams. Not loud, not aggressive, just quiet and deadly. Your success doesn't shout, it whispers. But so does procrastination. Success says, just begin. Procrastination says, maybe later. And here's the dangerous part, most people listen to the wrong whisper. They let another day slip by. Another opportunity missed. Another chapter unwritten. Not because they can't, but because they didn't. Let me share something with you. If you don't change what you're doing now, your next 5 years will look just like the last 5. And maybe that's the most terrifying thought of all, living a recycled year, 5 times in a row. So how do we stop it? How do we finally break free from the chains of procrastination? Not next week, not next month, now. This is a journey of 5 parts. Each one designed to help you break the habit that's held you back for far too long. To stop delaying your life and start creating it. This isn't just about time management. It's about life management. It's about reclaiming your future, one decision at a time. We'll talk about why procrastination isn't what you think it is, how the pain of regret always outweighs the pain of discipline, how to build the habit of action and momentum, why your purpose is the fuel to overcome resistance, and finally, how to become the kind of person who no longer waits. Because if you want a better future, if you want to stop watching from the sidelines, if you're ready to finally do what you've been putting off for years, then stay with me, because the next 5 parts could change everything. Not by magic, but by decision. Let's begin. You cannot conquer what you will not confront. And the truth is, most people never confront procrastination. They tolerate it. They excuse it. They even joke about it. But behind every delay, behind every excuse it, is a dream slipping further and further away. Let's get this straight. Procrastination is not laziness. No. It's more clever than that. But laziness is obvious. But procrastination, it dresses up in disguise. It shows up as, I need more time. Or, I'm not ready yet. Or the all-time favorite, I'll start tomorrow. But here's the truth. Tomorrow is a promise to the hopeful and a lie to the uncommitted. You see, procrastination pretends to be patient. But in reality, it's stealing your time, your progress, your potential. Let's go a little deeper. You don't procrastinate because you don't care. You procrastinate because you do. Deep down, it matters to you. Maybe too much. And that's where fear sneaks in. Fear of failure, fear of success, fear of judgment, fear that what you start might not be perfect. So instead of risking failure, we choose delay. Instead of imperfection, we choose inaction. But remember this, it doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to get started. What has procrastination already taken from you? Let me ask you that again. What has procrastination already stolen from your life? A dream, a goal, a healthier body, a book you never wrote, a business you never launched, a relationship you never repaired. You see, every delay has a cost, not always in money, but always in time. And time is the one thing you never get back. People say, I'll start when I feel motivated. But motivation is a result, not a requirement. It's not motivation that gets you moving. It's motion that creates motivation. Take one step, just one, and the fire starts to build. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment, not emotion, not mood, discipline. So start small, clean the desk, make the call, open the book, write the first line. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with what? One step, just one. Procrastination is a habit, and like any habit, it can be replaced. How? By replacing delay with decision. By replacing hesitation with discipline. By replacing fear with focus. It starts in the morning. When you wake up, don't negotiate with your mind. Don't argue with the alarm. Don't reason with excuses. Just deciding, today, I move. Time weighs more heavily on the idle than on the active. If you spend your time waiting, it becomes a burden. But if you use your time, it becomes a blessing. So ask yourself right now, what can I start today with what I have? Not next week. Not when you're more confident. not when the weather changes or the stars align. Now, because once you understand the enemy, you can finally fight it. And now that you see procrastination for what it really is, you have a choice. Let it continue stealing your days or take one back today. Let me begin with one of my most important thoughts. We must all suffer one of two pains, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. You can't escape it. You'll carry one ebb or the other. But here's the secret: discipline weighs ounces. Regret weighs tons. Discipline is uncomfortable. Let's be honest. Getting up early when you like sleeping in bed, saying no to distractions when they're so tense, finishing what you started when you're tired. That's the pain of discipline. But here's the good news: discipline is temporary. It's the weight you carry for a moment to avoid carrying regret for a lifetime. Every time you choose discipline, you make a deposit into your future. You see, discipline isn't punishment. It's the price of progress. Now let's talk about the other one, regret. Regret is quiet until it's not. It waits. It lingers. And then one day it screams, I should have started sooner. I could have done more. I wish I had tried. You see, regret doesn't show up right away. It shows up later, when it's too late to do anything about it, when the opportunity's gone, when the window's closed, when the time has run out. Let me tell you something I've seen in people's eyes. It's not the mistakes they made that haunt them. It's the chances they never took. Discipline isn't about grand gestures. It's about daily effort. Reading 10 pages, saving $10, walking 20 minutes, making that uncomfortable phone call, showing up when you don't feel like it. Do it again tomorrow, and again, and again. And soon the scale tips. Success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines, practiced every day, not complicated, not mystical, just daily choices made on purpose. Let me tell you a simple story. Two friends, same background, same potential. One said, I'll start tomorrow. The other said, I'll do it now. 10 years passed. One had built a career, a strong body, a savings account, a life full of purpose. The other, he was still getting ready, still thinking about it, still stuck in someday. The only difference, discipline, not talent, not intelligence, just consistent action over time. Every day you wake up, you face a choice, discipline or regret. And every time you hit snooze, scroll endlessly, or say, maybe later, you're casting a vote for the life you'll live. But when you choose discipline, even in small ways, you begin to reshape your destiny. You begin to earn your confidence. You begin to build your future. Because confidence doesn't come from motivation. It comes from keeping promises to yourself. So let me ask you, what pain are you carrying today? The short-term sting of effort, or the heavy ache of lost time? What's one thing you can do today that your future self will thank you for? Discipline isn't glamorous. It won't always feel good, but it will feel right. And years from now, when you look back, you'll be grateful you chose the right pain. Discipline is the foundation upon which all success is built. Choose it, live it, and let it shape you into who you're meant to become. Let me give you a little secret today. Success isn't one big act. It's a series of small actions repeated every day, no matter how you feel. Motivation is what gets you started. Habit is what keeps you going. You can't rely on inspiration. You can't depend on moods, because moods change, but habits remain. So today, let's talk about how to build that habit. The habit of taking action, especially when you don't feel like it. If you want to create a habit of action, you need a ritual, a rhythm, a routine. It starts with a trigger, something simple. Wake up, drink a glass of water, open your notebook, sit down, take a breath, write the first line, end the day, reflect, make a list for tomorrow. Every habit needs a starting point. You see, most people wait for the right feeling, but those who win, they create the right feeling through routine. Don't start with emotion. Start with structure. Here's something powerful. If a task feels too big, break it down to just 5 minutes. Tell yourself, I'll do it for 5 minutes. That's all. It's a trick, yes, but it works because motion beats emotion. Once you start, momentum takes over. 5 minutes leads to 10. 10 leads to 20. And before you know it, the work is done. Action leads to feeling, not the other way around. Simple, but profound. Every night before bed, write 3 important tasks for tomorrow. Not 20, not a whole page, just 3. And when you wake up, attack the first one. Don't wait. Don't negotiate. Just begin. You see the plan written down as a promise. It's a silent commitment to your future self. This one's hard but essential. There will be days you don't feel like it. Do it anyway. There will be no motivation, no excitement. Do it anyway. Because every time you do what you said you do, especially when you don't feel like it, you strengthen your will. And that, my friend, is the muscle of success. Don't wait for the mood to strike. Let your word be stronger than your feeling. At the end of the day, take 5 minutes. Look back. What did I do well? Where did I hesitate? What can I improve tomorrow? That's how you build self-awareness. That's how you avoid drifting. And that's how you stop procrastination before it even begins. Because if you don't reflect, you repeat. And repetition without correction is failure. Let me tell you something most people never realize. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your habits. And your habits come from your identity. So start speaking like the person you want to become. Not, I want to write, but I am a writer. Not, I want to get in shape, but I am a healthy person. Not, I'll try to wake up early, but I am disciplined with my time. Your words shape your actions, and your actions shape your life. Remember this, discipline builds character. Action builds confidence. Consistency builds legacy. The habit of action is your most powerful weapon. It's not about being perfect. It's about showing up every day for yourself. Build the ritual. Respect the routine. And soon you won't need to force it. It will become who you are. Let's take a deep breath. Slow things down. Let's forget the noise for a moment. Forget the task list. Forget the deadlines. Because before you can act, before you can move forward, you must understand what's holding you back. And it's not laziness. It's not time. It's not distraction. Let me tell you what it is. It's disconnection. Disconnection from purpose. You're not just avoiding work. You're avoiding emptiness. You're avoiding the hollow feeling of doing something without knowing why. We've been told. Get more disciplined. Wake up early. Block distractions. That's good advice. But here's the truth. You can have perfect time management and still feel empty inside. You can follow every productivity hack and still put off your dreams. Why? Because when there's no meaning behind the action, it becomes a chore. And nobody wants to do chores forever. Purpose gives pain a reason. Purpose gives discipline a reward. Without it, everything feels heavier than it really is. A single task becomes a mountain. A phone call feels like a confrontation. One small risk feels like a breakdown. But with purpose, you become a different person. A person with fire, with strength, with direction. Let me ask you a serious question, and I want you to really sit with this. What do you want? And why do you want it? Not what sounds good. Not what looks good on social media. Not what your parents or boss or friends want for you. What do you want? And more importantly, why does it matter? You see, once you find that reason, something magical happens. The fog lifts. Your energy returns. Procrastination disappears. Not because you forced it, but because your spirit got re-engaged. I've always said, reasons come first. Answers come second. When the reason is clear, the schedule becomes automatic. The effort becomes light. The path becomes brighter. I remember one evening, a young salesman came to me after a seminar. He said, Jim, I've been in this business for 3 years. I know what to do. I've read the books. I've taken the training. But I still can't seem to make the calls. I looked at him and asked, why did you get into sales? He paused and then said, well, I thought it would be a good opportunity. I said, that's not a reason. That's a description. So I pressed him further. What are you fighting for? What are you building? Who are you trying to become? After a few moments of silence, he told me, I want to buy my mother a house. She's been working 2 jobs since I was a kid. I want her to rest. And right there, everything changed. He didn't need motivation. He didn't need another tactic. He needed a reason. And when he remembered it, he made the calls. He pushed through the rejection. And 6 months later, he was the top salesman in his division. Not because of strategy, but because of clarity. If you feel stuck, unclear, but uninspired, ask yourself these questions. What am I really working toward? Who will benefit if I keep going? Who will suffer if I quit? What kind of life do I want to build? What would I regret not doing 5 years from now? Don't just answer with your head. Answer with your heart. Let your soul speak. Because when your soul speaks, action becomes natural. You don't need to push. You're pulled. When the promise is clear, the price is easy. Let me tell you what purpose really does. It gives you fuel. It gives you resilience. It gives you emotional stamina. There's going to be rejection. There's going to be setbacks. There will be days where nothing makes sense, but purpose whispers, keep going. Purpose reminds you, you're not doing this just for now. You're doing this for your future. It's the fire that never goes out. It's the internal alarm clock. It's what gets you up early and keeps you up late with joy. I want you to shift something in your mind. Stop looking at work as a burden. Start looking at it as a blessing. Don't say, I have to make these calls. Say, I get to build my future today. Don't say, I have to write this report. Say, I get to sharpen my skills and move one step closer to mastery. With purpose, the mundane becomes meaningful. The small steps become sacred. Even the failures become part of the story. Because you're not just doing the work. You're becoming something in the process. So the next time you find yourself putting things off, don't just ask, what's wrong with me? Ask, what have I forgotten? Because procrastination is often the soul's way of telling you you've lost connection with your why. And your job is to remember it every morning, every night, in every challenge, because with purpose, you can endure almost anything, and without it, even a small task can break you. So go deep, reconnect, and then rise, because someone out there is waiting on the person you're becoming. Reasons are the difference between wishing and winning. I want you to stop for a moment and think about this. What would it take for you to become the kind of person who doesn't wait? The kind of person who takes action before the stars align, before the conditions are perfect. You see, procrastination is not just about delaying work. It's about becoming someone who waits for the right moment, the perfect moment, the moment when everything is lined up, the fear is gone, the time is just right. But let me tell you the truth about that moment. It doesn't exist. There is no perfect moment. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. But most people wait and wait and wait for something outside of themselves to change. What does waiting do to you? It steals your potential. It builds a habit of delay. It teaches your brain to think that time is limitless, that you have forever. And that's the most dangerous lie you can tell yourself. Every minute you wait is a minute of life that's gone forever. Gone, never to return. Think about that for a moment. I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm saying this because I want you to realize how valuable each moment is. And I want you to become the kind of person who recognizes that value and acts on it. I've always said, you don't get what you want. You get who you are. If you want a different result, you have to become a different person. You don't just get a goal. You don't just get success. You get the person who can achieve that success. And that person isn't the one who waits for the right time. That person is the one who makes the time right by taking action. What if today, right now, you became someone who doesn't wait? What would your life look like? What would your day look like? I'll tell you what it would look like. You'd wake up early, before the world gets busy. You'd have a clear sense of direction, not because you have all the answers, but because you know your purpose is bigger than your doubts. You wouldn't wait for motivation to strike. You'd create your own. You'd dive into the work, knowing that the momentum you build today is the foundation for tomorrow's success. I don't wait for the feeling to be motivated. Just take action. Motivation will follow action. Now, I'm not saying action is easy. I'm not saying it won't be uncomfortable at first. But here's the magic: action creates momentum. The more you do, the easier it becomes to do. The more you step forward, the more natural it feels to keep stepping. It's like a snowball rolling down a hill. It starts small, but with every little push, it gathers speed and eventually becomes unstoppable. And it starts with you deciding, I'm not waiting anymore. You know, I met a lot of people in my life, and there's one thing I've noticed about the successful ones. They're not special. They don't have magical abilities. They simply take the first step. They're the ones who start before they feel ready. They start with what they have, not waiting for some mythical time when everything will be perfect. And you know what? You can do this too. Here's how you can begin. Stop waiting for motivation. Motivation comes after action, not before. The first step is to move forward, even when you don't feel like it. Stop waiting for permission. You don't need anyone's approval to chase your dreams. You've been given the power to act, to move, to create. The only permission you need is your own. Stop waiting for the perfect conditions. The truth is, there will never be a perfect time. There will always be obstacles. But you have something that can overcome them: your determination, your willingness to act despite the odds. Stop waiting for the right feeling. Feelings follow actions. You will never feel ready, but you can act and build confidence with every step. Now, I want you to focus on this. Start small. Take that first small step. Pick one task. Make one decision. Set one small goal for today. Do something that moves you forward, even if it's just an inch. Because, as I always say, small disciplines repeated with consistency every day lead to great achievements gained slowly over time. Let me tell you a story from my own life. When I first started in personal development, I didn't have all the answers. I didn't have a fancy office. I didn't have thousands of people listening to me, but I had a desire. I had a reason. And I knew this. I couldn't wait for everything to be perfect. I started with one speech, one message. And here's the thing: when you start, the world doesn't come to a screeching halt and say, here's your reward for showing up. But every time I showed up, the world responded. I showed up, I spoke, and I got better. And the better I got, the more people wanted to listen. The more I started to build momentum, the more I became the person who doesn't wait. I want to leave you with this thought: you can't build your future by waiting. You can only build it by acting in the present. You must become the person who doesn't wait, who does what needs to be done even when the road ahead is unclear, who faces discomfort, takes risks, and keeps moving forward, because that's how success is built. If you want a different future, it starts with the decision today to stop waiting, to start moving. Success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. So take action today. Start now. Because the best time to begin is always right now. And with that, go. Don't wait. Start becoming the person you were always meant to be. As we wrap up today, remember this: success doesn't come from waiting for the perfect moment. It comes from acting now. The key to success is not in waiting for the right time. It's in taking action now. So, don't wait. Take one small step today toward your goal. Create the future you want, starting right now. The power to change your life is in your hands. Act, move. Become the person who doesn't wait. Thank you for being here. Now, go make it happen.